Good morning, folks. So we are continuing our winter weather coverage. This is really a two-part system. We had the precipitation part on Saturday and on Sunday morning, and now we have the temperature part of that. And that one is when we're in the deep freeze, and everything that fell is not going to melt for a while. So yesterday was below freezing. Today is going to be below freezing. Tomorrow, finally, we get above freezing. And that's when we're going to start to see some of the melting. Now, I'm going to start out here with our traffic tracker, and we're going to take a look at some of these road conditions, and we'll take a look at our DOT cameras, because that really gets you a sense of what the roads will look like. You can see here, we're going to start in Northeast Texas, Southwest Arkansas here, and some of these DOT cameras. It's not all of these are working, but we'll take a look at the ones that are. You can see there on I-30, that is near Garden Road, near Hooks, Texas. And you can see that one is just north of Hooks. You can see it's ice covered, and folks are traveling on it. I mean, all these roads are open. There's no closed roads, but they're just ice covered. So if you have to head out, this is the kind of thing that you'll be experiencing. This is I-30 in University. That one is near the Texarkana area. And as you can see, that one's snow covered as well. So there's lots of snow covered roads. The ones that are a little more heavily traveled do have some more pavement that you can see. That one is in northern parts of Texarkana there. So, some of these roads are better than others as far as being passable. That's that one I-30 and University in Texarkana. Here's one on the loop in and around Texarkana. You can see there I-369 and Farm to Market Road 1342. You can see still some snow-covered roads on that one, but the sun is up. So, if there's enough traffic on these roads, it will make them a little more passable. Now, you can see there where you see the yellow and the red, doesn't mean it's closed or a lot of traffic. That means these folks are traveling very slowly, which they should be on these roads. We'll go down to the northwest parts of Louisiana. We'll go to Marshall, Texas, and Longview, see what they've got going on there. Here are some DOT cameras there. That's on I-20 and Farm to Market Road 3317, just south of Longview. You can see there are folks on the roads, and some of them are more passable than others. That one's getting more traffic, of course, because it's a main road. That's I-20, so it's getting a little more friction, which allows it to be a little more passable. This is near Marshall, Texas, and you can see there's got a little more ice on that one. That's not as heavily traveled. So that one there has got a little less pavement being seen. That is in Marshall, and you can see there, this has got some hills in Marshall. So if you're gonna be traveling on that road, let's see which one that is. That's 59 and Bell Street. You can see on that one, there's a lot more ice on the roads because it's not as heavily traveled. Now, it is kind of hilly there in Marshall, so you got to be careful traveling on that road this morning. All right, so we'll go into the Shreveport-Bossier area. You can see here we have a lot of red and yellow because of the slow movement that these folks are making. This is I-220 and 71. This is near the North Market area. And as you can see, it's snow covered, but passable. There are folks on some of these roads here. You just got to go really slow and take it easy. Further over there on 220, this is Swan Lake. It's passable. Folks are traveling on that road. Not a lot of people. There's no school. There's not a lot of businesses are open right now. So there's a lot of folks just kind of staying home out of this. This is the interchange of I-20 and 220. You can see more folks on that road. But with more traffic, it does tend to make the road slushier and allows it for easier travel because just of more, friction on the roads with more traffic. But the roads that are less traveled, it's a little icier. That's 220 and Highway 173. I'll move that out of the way. And that's over there off of the 220 interchange with 173. There's some roads that you can see on that one that's a little more bear covered than other places. But it's still icy in a lot of places. This is I-20 and exit 23 in Industrial Drive in Bossier. So a little more ice on that one. So just keep that in mind. If you have to go out, some of these roads are passable. Now, of course, the secondary roads like Airline Drive and Benton Road, not so passable. This is I-20 and Monkhouse Drive. That's over there near the airport. little more ice on that road. So that one is a little less passable. As we go further south, you can see here, we got some other ones. That's over there by the National Weather Service on Highway 70. It got some ice on the camera lens there, so it's harder to see that one. This is I-20 eastbound and I-20 and 220 interchange there. You can see some, the 18-wheelers are traveling on that road. It's just a little harder to see. This one is near Wascom, and you can see I-20 Wascom is, you can still see there's only one lane on that one. So even on the main interstates, there's probably just one lane on I-20 eastbound and westbound that's really passable. There is another lane there. It's just more snow covered. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be out and about traveling this morning. Even though there's a lot of sun, the ice has a high albedo rate. What is that? Albedo rate is the reflectivity of sunlight on objects. So on ice and snow, very high albedo rate, meaning it's a lot of glare, very bright, so a lot of sun glare. So if you're going out, you need your sunglasses. It's very, very bright out there. All right, we'll go to the weather graphics, and you can see what's been going on across the area and what I'm expecting. I'm expecting sunshine is back today, for sure. You can see that on those DOT cameras. There's a lot of sunshine out there, but don't let that fool you. It will be cold. Temperatures will not get much above 30, 31, possibly 32, but not many places. Most places will be below freezing, even with all that sunshine. That just shows you how deep this Arctic air is and how far south has gotten, because this is what usually folks up in the northern plain states in the northern U.S., they see lots of sunshine, but very cold. So this Arctic air has made it all the way down to the Gulf Coast, and it's going to be here for today and tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see thawing taking place. We'll start to see some melting of the roadways. So roadways will be improving. This is why there's no school today and no school tomorrow, because tomorrow morning, we're going to see similar icy roads, even though they might see some slushiness today, a little more passable, but it's going to freeze right back up again because tomorrow morning will be colder than this morning. Good news is there's no precip for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So it's just going to be the melting that we're waiting for to happen. And that's going to happen. It's just going to take some time because of how cold that air is. Still have the extreme cold warning out for all the Arclitex through Tuesday at noon. So probably not until noon will we have temperatures above 32. That's why tomorrow there is no school, because it's going to be icy on the roads, and having a delayed opening, it's not going to help because it won't be till noon. By that time, the school day is half over. So they canceled school for tomorrow. Wednesday, there is going to be school open as of right now. It all depends on what the roads look like Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday afternoon will be above 32, near 40. So if there's enough melting, then they'll open school Wednesday. If they see there's not a lot of melting, there's not enough melting, especially in the rural areas where the school buses go, because you don't want a school bus on roads that are still not that clear, because that's a problem. So if there's still not enough clearing of the roads Tuesday afternoon to Tuesday night, they'll cancel school on Wednesday too, mainly because of the rural areas. The city areas, the more populated areas, will probably be okay, but they don't want to take a chance on the rural areas. Why is this happening? Why did we get this big Arctic blast? Well, these are our high temperatures for January, well above normal. Everywhere that you see the brownish colors above normal, and the red are record highs. We had a record high on January 2nd. We had a record high on January 6th. And December was really warm. We had a lot of warm days in December as well. Probably, I think it was November. So we've been, very warm for a couple months. So the atmosphere was really out of balance. The atmosphere doesn't like that. Eventually, when you see well above normal temperatures for a while, you're going to see a correction. And the correction means it's going to get really cold to balance out how warm it's been. And this is the correction that we're seeing right now. That cold polar Arctic air finally was heavy enough to come down all the way down the Gulf Coast. So we're seeing that shot of Arctic air now. We're going to see another shot later this week. Although, and I'll show you in the 7-day, we're not going to see any kind of winter precipitation with that next shot of Arctic air. It's just going to be cold, which we can handle the cold. It's the precipitation part that we can't handle. So it's going to be, a couple weeks of below normal temperatures into the month of February. Then the atmosphere will stabilize and we'll see more normal temperatures as we get into the middle of February. For the next couple weeks, though, it's going to be kind of cold. So we've been tracking the icy conditions the last couple of days. Now we're going to be tracking the cold temperatures. And look at how much of the country got the Arctic air. I mean, it came all the way to the Rockies, South Texas, the Gulf Coast, even northern parts of Florida. Orlando and Miami didn't get the Arctic air. That's why folks fly down there in the winter, right? The snowbirds. They don't rarely get the Arctic air. It's the rest of the country that gets the Arctic air. That's for today. So we're still in the Arctic air today. Tomorrow, we'll start to see that Arctic air move back up northeast. So that's why we see temperatures near 40. It's going to be not as cold tomorrow, so we'll see some melting going on. And Wednesday as well. Further, we'll see that Arctic air staying to the northeast. So we'll be near 50 on Wednesday. So definitely warmer temperatures are coming. You just got to be patient. I know a lot of folks have been in the last couple of days. They're getting a little cabin fever. They want to get out and, stretch their legs. And I think you can do that today. But, if you don't have power, that's more important. So a lot of folks do not have power. This is a percentage of counties and parishes that don't have power. And you see the red, you can see up here on the screen, we have power 60 to 70% out in these parishes. A lot in Northeast Louisiana, DeSoto Parish, Red River Parish, more than half of the parish is out of power. Parts of East Texas, near Carthage, Center Texas, 30, 40%, over 50, 60% out of power. Now, Catawba Parish, Webster Parish, less than 10%. So not as bad of power outages here or Northeast Texas where they got more sleet and snow cover up there. But most of what you're seeing is sleet. There was a little bit of snow, but really didn't accumulate. It's sleet and freezing rain that you're seeing on the roadways that just froze over when the Arctic air came in. Current temperatures, they are cold. I mean, even with full sunshine now, the sun is up. It's not warming very much. It will warm up to near 30 maybe. These areas probably will stay in the 20s for highs today. It is 11 in Hope right now, 12 in Audubon, 18 in Atlanta, 17 in Texarkana. Along the I-20 corridor, temperatures are still in the teens, 18 in Minden, 19 in Shreveport, 15 in Marshall, 20 in Center Texas, 20 in St. Augustine, 24 in Natchitoches and Hemphill, Texas. And just with a little bit of wind, you got a little bit of a wind chill. Probably feels like the single digits. So if you're going out today, even though we are seeing lots of sunshine, you're going to have to wear a hat and gloves, boots, because it's very cold out there. It doesn't look cold with the sunshine if you're looking out your window, but it's cold, believe me. So if you have to go out, just dress for the cold for sure. Whether it's walking around the neighborhood, taking the dog for a walk, or just, like I said, stretching your legs, maybe getting out of the house because you've been cooped up for a couple of days, right? Including the kids. They might get some of that energy that they've got and go outside and walk around maybe a little bit. Anyway, you can see here, we do have mostly clear skies, a little bit of a light snow back there across Texas. That's really not much of that is reaching the ground. It's virga. It's evaporating before it reaches the ground. So not much going on there. Hour by hour today, you can see we will warm up a little bit, maybe close to freezing in some places, but not very long. You can see there, maybe for an hour or two, it'll get close to freezing, then boom, it's going right back down. And by 8 o'clock, already down into the teens. Now, like I said, tonight will be the coldest night of this winter storm. It'll be completely clear. We had some clouds last night, keep temperatures up a bit. It'll be clear and winds won't be as strong, so that by tonight, look at these temperatures. When you get up on Tuesday morning, maybe near single digits here. Audubon 4, DeQueen 3, near 9 or 10 in East Texas, lower teens in Northwest Louisiana. So I have a feeling, the last couple of days we were worried about power outages because of the sleet and the freezing rain causing problems in the power lines. That's gone, and they're trying to get power back. With these kind of temperatures, a lot of pipes are going to be freezing. So that's why I'm telling folks to open up their cabinets in their bathrooms. It might work, it might not. When it gets this cold, even opening cabinets doesn't work so well, but it's better to try than not try it. Because with this kind of cold, it's not necessarily more power outages, it's freezing pipes and freezing water lines. So to keep the water flowing, that's why we tell you do that drip, drip, drip of your faucets, because when even it's a slow water flow, it keeps them from freezing up. So dripping of the faucets, opening up cabinets to let some of that warm air in of the house near the pipes. That's the best you can do with this kind of situation when it's this cold, because our building codes are not built for this kind of cold. We don't usually see this. And so, folks up in the Northeast, the Northern Plains, it gets this cold, they don't have any water problems because the building codes are a little better for this kind of cold, because they get it a lot more than we do down here. So that is what you might see. You might lose water tomorrow. But the good news is this is what will happen in the morning. By the afternoon, it'll be above freezing. In fact, it'll be in the 40s. So if you lose water, and unless you have a pipe break or something, you should get the melting of that ice in the pipes, and they should get water back in the afternoon. That's the theory, at least. We'll see. But we should be up at least to 40, so that's above freezing, and we'll see definitely some more melting on the roadways and everywhere else. Now, it's still going to get in the 20s again, on Wednesday morning, but Wednesday afternoon, we might see 50 for a high temperature. So that's going to further help the roadways. So that's why I think they'll probably go back to school on Wednesday, unless you don't get a lot of melting Tuesday afternoon and the roads are still kind of icy. If the roads are still kind of icy when you go to bed on Tuesday night, you probably won't have school, because they just can't take a chance of having icy roads and school buses going on those roads. But definitely Wednesday afternoon, they should be all melted. Thursday morning, for sure, they'll have school. So there's a possibility you might have school in some places Wednesday as well, because of the not enough ice melted Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon. All right, so that's the plan, is that we're going to be warming up to the 50s by Wednesday, 55 on Thursday, cooling off. Another shot of Arctic air is coming in for Friday and Saturday. Now, we're not going to see precipitation with this. There is a little low pressure area in front that's going to come through, and this moisture will be down near the Gulf Coast, Houston, maybe South Louisiana might see some showers, maybe, but not this far north. It looked like we might see that a couple days ago, but now it looks like our computer modeling is showing that just the cold air is going to come in and not any precipitation through the weekend. So it's going to stay cold, though, at or below freezing for a while. This is that correction I was telling you about. The correction started on Friday, and it's going to continue this week into next weekend. I think by the middle of February, we'll start to see more normal temperatures, and that correction will be over, and we'll have more stabilized. The atmosphere won't be so out of balance like it has been the last really couple months around here. Now, some more looks at the DOT cameras here. This is I-20 and Common Street. You can see the sun is up, and not a lot of folks on the road because there's no school and a lot of businesses are closed. This is I-20 and Airline Drive. Still some iciness there as well. That is I-220 and Lakeshore Drive. That is going over Cross Lake, so not looking too bad there. So if you have to venture out, the roads are a little more favorable, mainly because of a lot of people driving over them, and you can see some bare spots there. But all across the area, still be careful if you're going out. There are some grocery stores that are open. There are some convenience stores and gas stations, but the majority of the businesses are going to be closed today because of the roadways. They don't want folks getting out and getting in trouble, because I've seen folks get off the roads coming to work this morning, early in the morning. There are some folks that tried it and they moved up, they slid off the road into a little ditch. So unless you want to try it and you got some experience with this, I would just kind of wait until it really melts tomorrow. Will be a lot better. All right, so that is your forecast. That is an update. We're going to have your 9 o'clock show, 9 o'clock this morning on KPXJ till 10, and some more updates after that. So everyone stay safe, stay warm, and just have some more patience. We will get through this together.